Hey, now we come to a thing which is really, really important for your life, your relationships, working in projects, your work. It's absolutely important everywhere. And this is called integrity. Well, it's a huge area to talk about integrity, and suddenly, like people have, integrity, oh God, no. Let's face it, let's make it really simple. And integrity starts with you and especially what you have under control. That's why I bring this up, clean. Imagine if you want to have integrity, it's like basically something which happens in your mind and in everywhere. But there's also a physical part about integrity. You can see this everywhere. So integrity is, for example, how does your desk look? Is it like organized? Do you have just the things? Are they there where you need? Is it clean? Imagine you are working in an environment and your desk is like really dirty, or like in the place you live that is really dirty, or your kitchen there's like all that stuff piling up, or like your bathroom looks like a mess, or so on. It's really dirt, disorganization, and so on. Some people say, I don't have the time to do this. Yeah, well, but actually you just have to do it once and you just have to get rid of stuff and so on. There's like huge kind of thing how you can do this, like your car. It happens you drive in the rain, you clean your car. Inside of the car is really important, like the outside as well, but like you drive somewhere and then the car is dirty and you don't want to go to the washing all the time. Okay, that's one thing. But how does your interior of your car look like? Is it clean? Is there just the stuff inside what you really need? Is there not any clutter, or is there not, you're just driving around stuff you don't need? Like some people, their cars look like a big ashtray and like a big heap of junk. How do you want to perform high quality work for mission if you are behaving like this? You are behaving like a small kid. I just tell you, if you don't even get like small things under control, how do you want to get a project under control? And I had one guy in who was like, when I was in university, he had a strategy of like, I have my whole desk full of paper, because when I look for something, then I found something else, and it is like a way to remind me. So he had actually a strategy of his desk was all kinds of paper lying around there. So, it worked for him. That's the thing. But at least there was an organized structure there. But like, look, if your sink is like overflowing with dirty stuff, doesn't really work. If your living room is like dirty and there's stuff lying around. If you have like plants, and I was actually like culprit, I was like just taking care that all the plants I have here, I was like cutting them, getting all this stuff out. It's a similar thing, that you want to have like your things are really in well shape. One trick about this is that you don't have so much stuff. It's like minimalization, but you want to have something, what you have under control. You want to start with this to get this stuff under control. Like, for example, I open a drawer and, is this stuff there like organized? Is it just what you need? And like, is it clean? Really simple, because like you open your fridge, it's one of my strategies not to have so much food here that I can't eat so much and I don't throw away things. So I just have very limited amount of stuff always here. You don't have to do this, especially when you have kids, but like imagine I come to people, I look in their fridges, and then I immediately find stuff which is like too old, you have to throw it away. It's well over the expiration date. It's not good then anymore. Maybe it's even dangerous and stuff like this. And people just have a mess. Why? They don't take care of this. So if your integrity is really like that you are able to manage something you have under control. And even if you say, hey, I'm going to be in a Zoom meeting, I have these headphones on, that I can be in a Zoom meeting, and then I can also like do something else and say, I just like organize a small part, which doesn't really take much of my brain capacity. I still can like listen very well, especially if this is a very long Zoom meeting and a very long presentation or something like this, It's even sometimes helpful that you do something else, because that's wiring your brain, not neural power, differently. So you can find this time, and like really organizing your stuff, it's usually you just have to do it once, and then you just have to take care that you just build the habit. Like imagine your car, you just take your car, go to the cleaning place. You can even give it to somebody and they clean it for you, but like you really clean it, like vacuum it out, for all the dirty stuff away or all the junk what you don't need anymore. Make it really clean and nice, and you polish it, and you polish the interior, whatever you do. You just do this not all the time, but then you have it like really clean. Imagine your car was a junkyard and now it's really clean. Okay, then the only thing is that you have to take care that you don't let it become a junkyard again. Like, if you have like piece of junk, put it in your pocket and throw it away in the trash afterwards. It's not, people are living in these junky conditions for a long time instead of just taking the action once and keeping it there, because it's like really simple. It's like, you have like all your, let's say, plates and stuff. Take everything out, clean it up, put it in orderly, take out everything you don't need, put it somewhere else. Good. There are really like strategies how to do this, but you want to be, that's right. The first level of cleanliness and integrity is to put integrity in places you have. And they are like my apartment. I usually take care that my apartment is like really clean, that anytime people can come here and I wouldn't be ashamed. Huh? And then like my daughter comes or children come, and then of course they're like messing stuff up. But then you're like making a game out of this to get everything back together and put it in one area. Yeah? So it's not an excuse to say, oh, I have children. And they always... No, train your children to do the same. But if you are showing them that you are messy, guess what your children are doing? They're just doing what you do. If they, like my daughter was in the kindergarten and she learned there that, everybody was playing with stuff and it looked like boom. And then when they had like the breaks, like lunch break, they were like singing a song and everybody was like taking their stuff and bringing it back to the organized area where the games were. So it was like getting, messy for a short amount of time, and then they were cleaning it again. So that's like a thing. But if you can't get something as simple as your environment under control, and you have time for this, you can just decide, okay, today, tonight, after work, I'm just starting to clean up something. And even if you say, I'm just like taking one drawer or like one thing, get everything out, clean it up again and organize it. You start with something. Do the next thing, So you don't have to like be immaculate in the first place, but like take your car on Saturday, go wash it, clean it, whatever, and have it organized. And that's like one level of integrity, which is like the physical level of integrity. And it's important that you see this, because your mind is reminded of this. If you are looking like into a mess all the time, you're having messy thoughts. And if you are like this messy in your real life in the physical world, how do you want to get projects done with other people? Because there, it's also like the dirt is in communication, for example. Yeah? And you want to have that cleaned out. But the first level is really like your own integrity in the real physical world. And not saying that you have to have everything organized. My father, for example, he liked that we had like a small thing with boxes where there were all kinds of screws inside. Yeah? And we had to organize the screws. We had to sort the screws. And maybe once a year you had to go and pick a screw and take it from there and use it. So that's something in which I think you are allowed to have like messy things, because my way of going with this kind of screw, I have like a box where there's all the screws inside and I don't sort them. I just know this is the box for the screws and I put them in. And when I need something, I just throw it somewhere, look, take one I need, put all the stuff back. I don't sort this. I don't think it's worth the time. I have it's sorted, it's a chaotic kind of storage, what I call it. But it has an organization. I know that I could, of course, like organize, but I think it's not really adding anything to my life. But the whole thing, all the screws and that stuff is in a box. I know where it is. If I need this, I go to that thing, open it up, and find out what I need. So you can decide to have certain things which are in a chaotic kind of storage. But overall, it's immaculate. It's just a choice. If you say, hey, you think your car is a chaotic storage, no, it's just a junkyard. That's the difference, Because when you see it, that's important. Your brain looks at it and you want to see, oh, it's clean, organized, there's not so much stuff. If your whole environment is cluttered like crazy, look at your wardrobe. My wardrobe is actually, I had like a 3-meter wardrobe. Then I was like doing minimalization and essentialism quite a lot and getting rid of stuff I don't really need. So it was like shrinking from 3 meters, over 3 meters. I was doing I had a 1-meter wardrobe. Now my wardrobe is actually the dishwasher because there's these nice drawers and I don't use a dishwasher anymore. I just clean it by hand. I don't use a dishwasher, so all my clothes are in the dishwasher. You could think this is crazy. Yes, of course it's crazy, but I have just reduced really to the max. That's what I wanted to do. Really reduce what I need in clothes. So the clothes are in the dishwasher. And it's organized. If I look to people, they have so many things, and you could say, oh, women, women have so many stuff. I know a person quite well, and that person had so many things, like a huge wardrobe, and then I was making a trick. They wear lots and lots of jeans, and I didn't have seen these jeans on that person, never, So I thought, okay, there are some things what that person never uses. So I made just a surprise. I took a box, like a cardboard box, put all that stuff inside and put it in a place in the, downstairs basement somewhere. I really hid this, that nobody was going to find it, and I put all this stuff inside. What do you think happened? I just rearranged the whole thing, and do you know what happened? Nothing. That person actually never recognized that these things were gone. Why? They were just things you have, you don't need. Most people of us have much too many things. So if you are starting to think, oh, how does my work look like? If you have 100 pairs of shoes, there are some people who have 100 pairs of shoes, And then how many of those are you actually using? If you are let's say you are a woman and you have 100 pairs of high heels, and you every day using them, maybe some of them but you use these kind of things. Okay, that's fine. You can be a minimalist and can have 100 pairs of shoes if they really bring you value and you use them, but you want to have them in some sort of organized way. If they're just flying around all over the place, that isn't good. And so the trick is really look, what do I really need? Organize this, and all the other stuff put somewhere, and then decide later on. For example, you can sell it, donate it. Don't really throw it away. It's maybe you can sell it on eBay, you can donate it to some charity or whatever. But it's a lot of times reducing is actually adding value to your life. A lot of people think they actually have to get stuff more and more. So, long story, try it out, and of course have a lot of fun with it. Thank you very much for watching.